this is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
It is bedlam. It is pandemonium. It is fandemonium.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, what's going on? You did pointed at me?
Yeah, that's what that was.
Okay, you missed the screen. I thought you were pointing somewhere else. Hey, fellow Bills fans, this is Jared from 24/7 Buff Fandemonium. Thank you for joining us for the K-Gun Report tonight.
We just lost 2 viewers.
We did. Bam, gone. All right. Guys, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Our handles are in the tracker below, along with updated stat line, injuries, Buffalo Bills news, and 24/7 Buff Fandemonium news. Again, this is the K-Gun Report, guys. We're 6-2. How awesome is that? Hey. There you go. All right. So joining us tonight, again, like I said, I'm Jared, your host. Joining us tonight, we have Scott, Dynasty.
No.
Swank. We have Swank.
Yup.
Yep. And our special guest tonight is Scott and I's cousin, Joe Snyder, 4-year United States Marine Corps vet. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Cousin Joe.
Thank you. My pleasure. It's an honor to be on your show. Like Jared said, served 4 years in the United States Marine Corps, did 2 tours to Afghanistan. Loads of fun. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, yeah, we appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yep, thank you for your
service, man.
Hoorah!
So, hoorah.
Yeah, the Twins have been dying to do that since they knew that Cousin Joe was coming on the show.
How do I do it?
Hoorah!
Yeah, always the same. They understand,
But
right?
we can also add to that that he is a lifelong Buffalo Bills fan, and we asked him what his favorite player from the Bills was. I know one of them is Freddie Jackson's because we always show pictures of each other wearing our Freddie Jackson jerseys. But any other players that you've been enjoyed watching in the past, or
What really? See, I'm different from y'all's generation. Jim Kelly, the Super Bowl years, I was little. You know, I was like Neil's age. I got a little one. He's 5. I was at, and that's when I knew I liked football. We always used to go over to y'all's house, and there was Buffalo Bills stuff everywhere. And I would say Doug Flutie. You know, I loved him to death. You know, he was. You know, he could do it all for how small he was, and I'm a small guy. You guys are small guys, and I like where Josh Allen is going. He's a fan favorite. I those 3 right there, boom. So,
I like those 3. Yeah.
Not a bad choice right there.
Yeah.
All right. So, Joe, what we usually start the episodes off with is what are you drinking? I'm going to start with you. What do you got over there? You got some water?
I'm drinking water, man. I got to work tomorrow.
There you go.
I got to stay up late. Yeah.
All right. So, cousin Joe is drinking the old H2O. Swank, what do you got, bud?
I got this much of a Sloop Bomb juice bomb left here, but have no fear, 24/7. I got another one there.
The juice bomb is on its way.
And this isn't a pay week, so just in case things get hairy, it's PBR.
So if you're viewing us now, stay tuned about an hour from now. It should be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Shock on that thing.
All right, Scott. Hey, Dynasty, what do you got up there?
24/7 Buff Fandemonium Booze of the Year, Blue Moon. And it's not a pay week again, so Coors Light's in here, so that's going to be next. So if you up top,
All right.
Nice get.
that's what you're
I'm
drinking there
enjoying
too.
it. And I'll have the Blue Moon, too, tonight.
All right, fellas.
All
Cheers.
right, guys.
Cheers to 6-2.
Hey, cheers.
Bam.
Cheers to Cousin Joe, huh?
Oh, cheers to Cousin Joe.
Hey, cheers to Eater. Eater on again, man. Fan of the year for the last
He's drinking
year.
Pepto Bismol after all the beer he's been drinking. Good for you. Hey. In moderation, right? At all times.
Pepto?
6-2.
Yeah, 6-2. Before we really get into that Patriots game, I got a couple hays. You guys know who I'm talking about. We have Zach Moss scoring his first and second rushing touchdown of his career. Bam,
Hey,
that's awesome.
hey.
Maybe this is a start, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Kid's
Also,
awesome,
we
man.
have Justin Zimmer I know it's a weird stat to celebrate his first forced fumble of his career.
It's a big
But
stat.
what a perfect timing for it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you that my favorite thing about Sunday's game, which is like there's a lot to love about. There's also a lot to be nervous about. But the thing that I loved absolutely the most was that was the moment that decided the game. That Cam let somebody punch the ball out of his hands, and that he looks sadder than any grandma I've ever seen that wears a scarf over their head in my whole entire life. And it was so
He looked
great.
like somebody kicked his dog, man.
Hey, Swank, you think you can hang on to a football with a guy that bench pressed 225 pounds
No.
44 times
No.
coming down on you like that?
I also don't think Cam Newton can play guitar, so screw him, dude. We'll go tit for tat on it.
Touche. Touche.
I don't know. It kind of just solidified what we've been saying about how he had those hype 2 games, and then he's getting old and he's getting tired, and he doesn't have as much in the tank, I don't think, as everybody thought he did. So
And a lot of those short arm passes too, which we all said that was going to happen again. So, but it's a Belichick coached football team, so you always have to be prepared for that. You always have to be on your toes, because at the end of the game, my mind went right to they're driving, last drive, very easy, typical Belichick and the Patriots way, finding a way to win, and all of a sudden, boop, thanks, Cam. Thanks for the gift.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah,
I know.
Beautiful.
What was going through your mind there, Joe, when you saw that last drive?
I was sitting on the couch and I'm like, man, here we go again. Here we go again. And I'm like, they kick a field goal. They're going to have momentum. And, being a lifelong Bills fan, there's a lot of letdowns, but, the defense stepped up right there. And glad we finally beat Belichick at home for the first time in, 6 seasons or something like that. So
I think since 2000, was it 12?
So
2011 at home?
8, yeah. So
Yeah, I remember that game. It was pretty soon after I bought my house, and I've been in my house 10 years, so it was a minute, dude. I remember that game. But
you built some equity since then, huh?
yeah, a little bit of equity. I'm looking to refi, maybe.
There you go.
Diversify.
Depends on how the Bills do.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear a funny story about that? When Fitzpatrick beat the Patriots at home, I just had a brand new puppy at the time, and he was sitting at my legs. And during that game, I think it was Florence got that interception and took it in for a touchdown.
Yep.
I let out the biggest yeah that my dog stink gland.
Yep.
And
I was there. I was there. It wasn't a fart. It was a stink gland.
Yeah, his stink gland went, and I was like, "Oh God, sorry, buddy."
Oh no, dude.
Speaking of Fitz, did you see the quote that he said about Tua taking over?
No.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna laugh. You ready for this? This is rated R, guys, so pay attention. He
Watch
might
your
be
kids.
young. He might be younger than me, quicker, faster, better decision making in the pocket, better looking, more poised, a winner. And his face doesn't look like a 1980s Bush trying to escape a bikini. I forgot where I was going with this.
Was that a on TV interview?
No, I have no idea what kind of interview it was, but
Wow.
that's
probably
Fitz.
Barstool Sports.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There was a bunch of rumors that he might come up here during all this trade talk stuff and back up Josh, which I think would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
And I'm sure we'll get into all these the trade thing, but I don't know how you want to operate this, Jared. We going with the Patriots game first.
Yeah, I want to give one more hey out there, and that's to our Coach McDermott, getting his first win against Bill Belichick. He's a young coach, got his first win against him, so let's hopefully it continues to add the W's on his career against that man, because Bill Belichick and his team will get it eventually, and let's just hope that McDermott keeps ahead of him and makes that 35-3 now, I think it is. Belichick's 35-3 against us. By the end of McDermott's career, I'd like it to be a little bit. I know that makes you throw open your mouth a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. But a little bit closer to 50%. All right, yeah, let's get into that
Three wins?
Patriots game, guys.
Dang.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, 35-3.
I remember the one. It was like right after the Pats won their first Super Bowl, and we picked up that safety.
Malloy.
Yep. That was one, and they blew them out, I believe.
31-0.
Yeah.
31-0.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Dang.
Because then at the week 17, New England Patriots beat us 31-0.
31-0. Yep.
Big Sam Adams took in a fumble recovery for a touchdown that game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think they showed that highlight on Sunday.
Yeah, the keg.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, 24-21, the Bills go 6-2. They go 4-0 in the division, which again we'll say every week is very important. Man, win. We gotta win. 6-2 halfway. Guys, what do you guys think about the first half of that game? I'll start with Scott. What did you think about the first half of that game?
It's tough to watch, but the way I see it, I was glad to see. I was just glad to see the run game get involved. I know everybody wants the Bills to score 30 points a game, and it's nice to see that. It's nice to see the first 4 weeks come to life again and have Josh Allen throw the ball out of the stadium and all that stuff. But we're at a time now where we kind of need to develop a run game, and with the Feliciano coming back, which is an attitude to that line, and it showed. It was good to see that first half run. I mean, we weren't pulling ahead, which kind of makes you nervous. I like close games personally, but blowouts would be nice every once in a while. But 14 rushes for both running backs, 81 and 86 yards, 2 touchdowns for Moss. I think we saw a little bit of what our run game can do if we have to use it. So, I mean, it was scary the whole way until that fumble happened. So I can't just say what do I think about the first half. I think the whole game was kind of nerve-wracking, but we still came out with a win. I know a lot of fans, and I'm getting tired of seeing it. Actually, there's a lot of fans out there that, unless we win a Super Bowl, I don't think they're going to be happy. It's really quite annoying. We're 6-2, 4-0 in a division. We're going to get a playoff spot, okay, in the wild card, at least. But everybody, I agree, we got to win that first playoff game. Blah blah blah. But let's have fun getting there. We always say half the fun is getting to the playoffs. Let's get there. Let's have fun get there. Let's celebrate the wins that we get and understand that a win's a win. Somebody mentioned on Facebook earlier this week, do you think when the Giants beat the Bills in the Super Bowl, they were all like, oh, well, if they didn't miss that field goal, we wouldn't have won. No, you take it for what it is. You take a win for a win, and that's what I'm doing. So a lot of boohoo fans out there that I'm getting it's getting old, but you know, you just you got to rise above it and be positive.
It's how it's
I got into it with a couple.
What's that, Joe?
I said that's been how it's been for a while now, though. It seems like with the Buffalo fan base, there's a lot of people nagging on them.
Yeah, I must say though, squeaky wheel gets the oil. So you got to remember, there's a lot of Bills Mafia out there that are positive, but for some reason, when somebody says something that's not popular, everyone jumps on it. And I did that this past week, and Monday, I was reviewing everything and watching some more game film. I said, I'm not going to give these people any more of my time. If they want to naysay the Buffalo Bills, then go ahead. I'm going to go do a different direction and start celebrating what we got. So all of you that are going to post negative stuff, have fun. I'm not going to comment to you anymore.
Well, I think they
Anyway.
I think they're sorry, one real quick.
There you go.
I don't understand this elitist mindset where you want the Bills to go from absolutely nothing for 17 years. Not that they're nothing, obviously they're the team that we loved and all that stuff, but the results that they had were nothing. And now that they're playing well, you don't want it just that they're 6-2. They beat the Patriots, they beat the Rams, they beat the Raiders. They're going into the second half.
They beat
of the
Miami.
Season. They
Miami's
beat
a good team.
4-0 in the division. They're winning the close games that they historically would lose. They are what you want them to be, but now you have this percentile of fans that are like, no, they have to blow them out. Every game has to be a blowout. Every single game, Josh Allen has to throw for 500 yards. There has to be 6 touchdowns. You know
how many upsets happened this week?
Oh yeah, dude. I made a comment about the Vikings Green Bay game being on Fox at 1:00 to Sarah, and I was just like, why is this game on? Aaron Rodgers is going to chew them up, and that's it. So why is it on? And then it's like, oh, that didn't happen because this is the NFL, and any given Sunday, a team can win. Same thing with the Titans game and all that stuff. It's it's a fun competitive league. It's like one of the best leagues in sports, and you can go into it every game knowing that there's going to be good plays by each side of the team. Like each team's going to have a good play. It could be close. It could be a blowout. Most of them are not blowouts.
Right.
I heard this awesome stat today. This year, in one-score games, the Bills are 5-0.
Yeah.
For the last 2 seasons previous to that, they were 7-7. They're 5-0 in one-score games. That you can't be upset with that. And they lost to the Titans and the Chiefs.
Right.
So
Not bad teams to lose to.
no.
Yeah, and those one-score games, like you mentioned, 7-7, we lose those. We lose those in the past.
Yeah.
So good teams find ways to win, and we're 6-2. So let's run with that.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Were you like crying?
this mic. It's the mic.
Yeah.
I want to get back to, you said we found the run game, and I think we ran 4 straight runs, right? And on that first scoring drive, we had 7 rushes. And, so they established that run game right away. Feliciano, I don't know if you saw that play where Zach Moss scored, and Feliciano pretty much grabbed him and tore him in for the last 5 yards, put him in the end zone. So his presence is key. One thing about Feliciano, though, do you guys like him at center if he needs to be there for a little bit?
Sure. I'll take him wherever. I think that dude's passion and juice that he brings when he's on the field is completely unmatched, especially after missing almost half the season and then
He's
stepping
hungry,
in. And I couldn't believe that they had him in at center, especially when you saw, was it Bates, right? Came
Bates,
in, and he was supposed to fill in for Mitch Morse. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, Feliciano's doing it. And I'm okay. The snaps were there. The run was there. I don't know. Why not? If it's working, I'm fine with it. If you could clone that guy and have him play every single position on the whole line, I'd be fine with it.
You guys know what's crazy too about the whole line thing is that Bean and McDermott always bringing people that are multifaceted. They can play multiple positions. Ike Boeker, he got the highest grade this week for an offensive lineman. All the other NFL teams, he got like a 90-something grade for pass protection and run protection, and that's just not made up stuff. That's like, they're just numbers. Yes, you got to play the game, but those numbers. I mean, a guy that no one's ever heard of is the highest guard grade in the NFL after that week, and that shows the potential that he has.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. They kind of, and I know we're not at the trade thing, but I saw a lot of people, basically disrespecting Brandon Bean and being like, why isn't he going and getting a linebacker or a big defensive lineman? Look at these dudes that he's found. It's like that article that I wrote earlier in the season, play with the toys you have. Look at what they've done to build this team to where it is right now, and you're complaining because they're not overpaying or making some ridiculous trade for some player that might not even be the answer you're looking for,
Then you get in the boat like how the Patriots are now. Bill Belichick came out, it was today or yesterday, with, we paid money to win them Super Bowls, and
they went
now
all
it is
out.
what it is today.
Yeah.
So
Man, take a look what it does to your team's psyche when you start going out and trading and getting rid of players to make your team better. I don't know what something that would be confident for me as a player would be knowing that my coaching staff and my general manager knew that what we had in the locker room now was good enough to make the playoffs and make a run for the Super Bowl. As soon as you start dishing out players and trying to get draft picks, that tells you that you're trying to still figure out a ways. We need to get better.
Yep.
It's nice to know that, hey, guys, we've got a solid core of people. Let's do what we have to do with the guys that we got. Because once you start mix and matching people, then you start losing the trust in the organization. And we know what kind of establishment they're trying to create there. So I can understand why they didn't go out and trade. But I'm always a homer. But that Darren Lee pickup, I'm telling you guys, keep an eye out. We'll talk later about the Seattle Seahawks. I have a good feeling about Darren Lee.
I mean, it's just par for the course. They are doing enough to get it done. So again, this elitist mentality where it's like, unless there was some screaming deal, right, that was right in front of them, why do anything? Your linebacking core, you want to make that argument? They got Lee, right? So then, like, you have Edmonds, who is hurt and very obviously hurt. You have Milano, who's on a snap count and hurt. Last year, that duo was as important as Micah Hyde and Jordan Poirier, who also Micah Hyde out last week. Like, you know, all these injuries that have added up to, like, poor defensive play, and maybe they didn't gel in the beginning, and maybe everybody deserves to give Starr a big apology, because maybe he was more of a staple than everybody thought, you know. But I just think, like, getting somebody for the sake of getting somebody when you have all the parts there and you're 6-2 is a ridiculous notion. Like,
yeah,
just move forward with what you got. You're doing good, you know.
Yeah, I was kind of in that mindset that if they did get somebody, then, you know, I got the whole trust the process thing going. So if they did get somebody, I'd be like, oh, yes, great. If it was a big name, it'd have been like, oh, sweet, it's going to be cool. But when I heard, and I was waiting all day, 4 o'clock came, I'm like, oh, maybe they're finalizing a deal that we don't know about. And then you hear that nobody was picked up or nobody was traded. I was like, okay, let's go with what we got then. I mean, we did pick up Darren Lee earlier this week, and we did pick up Daryl Worley. Yeah, so those are 2 guys. They're not going to jump off the page at you, but Darren Lee was the number 1 pick in 2016, so he has that potential. Somebody made a comment of they think that he might be too small as a linebacker, and I fired back. You know Kendrick from the Minnesota Vikings that leads the league in tackles? Well, Darren Lee's bigger than him, so there's that.
And with the Buffalo Bills' perimeter defense against the run is one of the worst in the NFL, now you got a guy that can run 4.40, and he could put the helmet on someone. So was it really that bad of a pickup, fellas?
Yeah, I kind of like it.
I don't think so. The Worley pickup worries me more than anything else. I mean, I think he's just depth, but, like, all the highlights that they were showing was him playing Seattle, and then they started talking about, like, how quarterbacks have a perfect quarterback rating against him, like, whatever.
Oh,
but in different circumstances, different team, whatever, you know, maybe they can pull something out of him. And he's just depth. He's on the practice squad. What's it hurting? You know, like, I don't know. I'd rather see Dane Jackson get the look. You know what I mean? But
so would I. That 7th round draft pick. Hell yeah, keep him going. Get the guy. Get the kid experience. Again, he'll be on.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Well, he'll be on that rookie contract for a while too, so he can develop him and turn him into one of the best. Turn him into one of the starter number 2. Yeah. Levi Wallace is right there. Josh Norman's there to teach them all. I mean,
hey, what do you guys think about Levi's game this week?
I'll be completely honest. I didn't really pay attention to Levi. I was watching the defensive line again because I was hoping they'd get a whole bunch of sacks against an immobile, bad throwing Cam Newton.
It looked like he did a pretty good job, man. Either. I mean, I know that the conditions were horrendous and it was super windy and rainy and all that stuff, but I was pretty stoked with what it seemed like he was around the play. He made some tackles, made some play on the ball. Like, you know, it wasn't so bad. So maybe that was a good little introduction for him to come back. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, Joe, do you pay attention to any particular position when you're watching these games, or do you just watch them, sit back, and not care about it?
When we're playing defense, I'm watching the linebackers to see what their reads are, and you know, on offense, I'm always watching for old Josh Allen to, you know, do Josh Allen things. I'm always focused on him because you never know what that guy's going to do.
I think all eyes are always on Josh Allen, to be honest with you.
As far as the Pats game, the first half, I thought they played the run. You know, they pulled up some statistics in the first half, and it was a heck of a lot better than what the Titans and Kansas City game was going. So I felt better about that game just from that point, you know, that we could pull it off. And then you get into the fourth quarter and it's like, whoo, boy, hold on.
Here we go again.
Here we go.
So are you just watching Tremaine Edmonds, or what do you think about Klein? Do you think I know he's getting a lot of harp, and I'm one of those guys that are not liking him right now. He'll come up with a play every once in a while. It's like, okay, you just made up for whatever you just did because you just tackled the guy for a loss, or But what do you think about? Do you think AJ Klein is doing a good enough job? Is it?
What was the first game Milano was out for? It might have been the Dolphins.
Week 2, yep.
I think. And you saw Klein in there, and he couldn't cover anything. He was not getting where he was supposed to be.
Giuseppe, the tight end.
That's how dang Mr. Fitzpatrick he took off on us, So there's a reason why he's a backup, and you got Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano that when they're healthy, they're good. That's the thing that's going for us for Buffalo now is it seems like everybody on the defensive side of the ball is just banged up, and you're going to have to rely more on that offense, whether it be giving it to the running backs or giving it to Josh Allen to sling it out. I think weather's played a big factor in on that too, why you've had these low scoring games. So you can't y'all got onto the fan part of it. You can't get bent up. A win's a win, and let's keep trucking through it. You got a tough game coming up, so focus on that now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, hell yeah, yeah. Well, you guys want to end with the New England Patriots and move on to the Seattle Seahawks, or do you guys have more to say about this last game here?
We beat Belichick. That's the way it is. We can move on to the Seahawks, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I think
another coach I don't like. I don't like Pete Carroll either. So.
I think it was poetic enough to where it was a good way to end, because I feel like that game is exactly the way that we've lost to the Patriots more than not. You know what I mean? So I think it was great. Go Bills.
What are you doing, Scott?
Pete Carroll chewing his gum.
Oh yeah.
All
okay.
the time.
Did our kicker Bass miss any field goals in that game?
No, you made it.
Nope.
That's a thumbs up for special teams, because he's definitely been learning on the fly his rookie year in the NFL. I think he's 50% from 30 to 39, 50 or 40%.
It's low, right?
So and those are the kicks you're like, all right, they're going to kick a field goal. That's the range. So
that's our 3 points.
Yeah, I'm wondering
before we go to Seattle, thanks for bringing up special teams.
Yeah, geez, our punter sucked again.
Tyler Makedovich, heads up play.
Dude. Nice get on that name. All right, Scott Dynasty.
Right, heads up on that surprise onside. That is discipline.
Oh yeah.
He did not get surprised on that surprise onside, and he got that as a linebacker. Showed good hands, and that turned it around a little bit. They got the ball at the 50-yard line and went ahead and did what they did. But good segue into the special teams there, Joe. Thank you. How'd you know I was waiting to say something about that?
Sitting right on it. Yeah.
And I nailed the name too, right? Jeez.
Yeah.
It's the
it is the bandana, bro.
I'm not gonna say it again.
But
that's one of those unsung heroes, and sometimes those are the games that you need an unsung hero. And Tyler is a surprise onside, and everybody else backing up. He started moving forward right away, and he got that onside recovery and gave us the ball at the 50-yard line. So good for him.
No, that's why we picked him up. He was huge on special teams in Pittsburgh when he was there, and
they knew that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah.
He also made a key tackle on a kickoff, so he was busy. He did well.
I'm telling you what, I don't want to jinx us, but our kickoff team, when they decide to bring it out, they're putting a hammer down on keeping them inside the 20.
Yeah.
Let's knock on some wood for that, would you?
Got it.
All right, guys. There was last week we discussed a couple penalties that were kind of iffy. I was kind of freaking out when it was 3rd and 21, and there was a legal hands to the face or something like that, a 5-yard penalty, and it's an automatic first down.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys feel like on those penalties that give these offenses first downs when it's a 5-yard penalty, nowhere near the ball, and it's an automatic 3rd and 21, 5-yard penalty, first down? What do you guys feel about that? Is that a rule change that you think is going to happen this upcoming year, or do you think it's something they're just going to keep?
I think if we're on offense and we get that penalty, I'm all about it.
You love it, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, it all depends on who gets it.
Yeah, I think you
it's
can
the same
pass
concept.
interferences and stuff should always, that receiver would have caught that ball if he wasn't interfering or if he wasn't holding. And that's one thing Josh Allen's been doing. It seems like he's been getting those calls. I haven't seen too many quarterbacks in the past for Buffalo in a long time that he'll throw the ball to a receiver that's getting held, so that he's got to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the game that old Tom Brady plays too.
Third long,
third
throw it
long.
up in the sideline.
Yep.
Almost an uncatchable ball, but hopefully you
Yeah.
pray for a pass interference call and
Yeah.
get yourself.
So I think calls like that should get it, but illegal hands, I agree that's a tough one to swallow.
Yeah.
You
So
live
is our
by it,
next
you die by it.
The only rules change that I would like to see is the fact that when a personal foul happens on one side and a 5-yard penalty happens on the other and they offset, I think that's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
One's a personal foul, one's a character issue, and the other one's just a whoops, I held the guy.
Yeah.
They need to nip that in the bud. But
That'd be a nice discussion at the meeting.
Yeah.
All right, and then one more fact about our special teams is our punter sucked again. So on to the Seattle Seahawks. This guy gets a lot of attention because he either has a 72-yard punt in the game or he has 30-yard punt,
Yeah.
30-yard punts in the game. So he's got to get going.
Should just bring Brian Mormon back.
Sure.
All the day.
I take
like
that.
to
Yeah, even with his
He loves
dust lagging.
too.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, guys, we get to watch yet another Sunday game at 1 o'clock. The Buffalo Bills are hosting
Enjoy
the
it.
6-1 or 7-1, 6-1.
6-1.
Seattle Seahawks. This game is one of those games for me personally. I've never been a big Seattle Seahawks fan, but you can't not like Russell Wilson. So, and he's dangerous. He's a dangerous quarterback. Scott, I'm going to start with you. What worries you about the Seattle Seahawks game?
Don't take mine, Dynasty.
thank you for letting me lead in here. I think we have an answer for Wilson. But I think we just signed him this last week. That 4.40 running linebacker, he's fast. I think the Bills do what they got to do with Trey White and DK Metcalf. I'm looking at his numbers. Everybody's worried about DK tearing it up because he has.
He's a beast.
He's had a couple bad games, but he's a beast. And Trey White's numbers, I didn't just look up Trey White's numbers against all the wide receivers he's played against in the NFL. I looked up his big wide receiver named, not just big wide receivers, but well-known wide receivers like Elshon Jeffrey, Cortland Sutton. He is good. Devontae Parker's a big wide receiver. Cooper is. His numbers last year, 39 catches, 520 yards. And this is total against the game and 2 touchdowns. I know he didn't give those up. But Trey White shows up against these big-bodied wide receivers. And another one was the playoff game against Hopkins. He did let up 6 catches for 90 yards, but they all came later, and he did cause one of those fumbles. He's kind of a bend and don't break. I think Trey White will handle DK Metcalf. Let me come back to Darren Lee. I think if you bring the blitz, you take away DK Metcalf, Carlos Hyde and Carson are both questionable right now. You blitz Wilson and you put Darren Lee on Wilson, he will not be able to escape that pocket and be successful on the run, passing the ball. So I am excited about this game. I think if I'm thinking what they're thinking and they played Darren Lee this week, I think that's why they did it.
So, like,
Do you
just
think what I'm thinking?
What's that?
No. Because what a perfect way to get Darren Lee into the game. If you're going to set him in there and just be a spy on Russell Wilson,
that's what I
there's
was going to say. Spy.
there's no game plan, right? There you go, Darren Lee. Get your feet wet. Spy Russell Wilson.
He ran
Good
a
luck.
4.40 to linebacker. He may be smaller, 6'1", 230 pounds, but the guy can fly, and he's been known to be able to put a helmet on someone. So you bring a blitz, you cover those guys, you don't have a running game. Perfect scenario, perfect situation, I think, for Darren Lee to get his feet wet and be introduced to Buffalo. Plus, he went to Duff's Wings, and he loved them, so he's already a favorite. For
Listen,
Bills.
man, we've talked about this third linebacker spot, and if that's what it is, like I'd rather have him dedicated 100% to Russell Wilson the whole game, and then have the other 2 on the other side play in the middle of the field, because A.J. Klein, as we had stated earlier, all the yards come across the middle on his side, and that's it. And he misses tackles, and I feel bad because he gets spotlighted because they attack him. And the reason they attack him is because he shows up on film every single week screwing up because he's not really a linebacker. You know what I mean? He's a special teamer too. So, like, I would be all about that. I mean, sell out and have Lee just spy him the whole entire game. And if that's all he is fast and he can tackle, fine. Every time Russell Wilson goes to take off, you send him. You know what
goes with that, Swank? You don't really need to know the defensive playbook to keep an eye on.
Exactly.
So
Easy.
You can get him
That's what I'm
right
saying.
away week 1.
Yeah,
Easy.
that's what I'm saying.
I like it. I like it a lot. I thought that you were being a homer when you first said it. You know, I apologize. I didn't realize where the dynasty was going with this.
Scott. So Scott, is there any concerns though? What concerns you about this game?
The things I said we should cover. I mean, the concerns is obviously DK Metcalf. As I mentioned before, Carson.
You got Lockett too, and at the receiver's position too.
Hey man, say something for me and Joe. Jesus.
I know.
I mean, Russell Wilson's been playing his best ball of his career.
I have him fantasy football, so go ahead.
He's good. He's been playing lights out.
MVP, man.
So.
Yep.
But he's coming to the East Coast at a 1:00 game. He's not used to playing a 1:00 game. He's all prime time now.
Yeah.
So maybe we get something. Hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
That's early for him.
It is.
But Jared, I mean, I mentioned my concerns with how we're going to take care of it. DK Metcalf's a concern for me. I think Trey White will be able to handle it because he's handled big receivers before. Wilson is a concern. He always will be. I think with the Darren Lee signing, I think we can take care of that. The running backs, we're all set because Carson, I think, and who's their backup, Carlos Hyde, they're both questionable right now. So Homer's their next running back, and he's now questionable. So I don't know how they're going to run the ball. A team that was heavy running, number one rushing team last year is now questionable, all the backfield. So if you can bring a blitz, and if you can have Darren Lee just bring a blitz to where Russell Wilson can't sneak up the middle and have Darren Lee follow him wherever he goes, you're going to have problems. I don't care. And you got Trey White covering the big DK Metcalf. Lockett is a problem, but I don't know.
You know who else is a problem? Who could show his face? And it seems like whenever somebody's not, playing well and they play Buffalo, they finally shine, is Greg Olsen. He's playing against his former coach. True. And he's going to be playing against a bunch of linebackers that are, they're hurting. So
he hasn't been playing that well, though, I don't think, this year. I mean, a lot of drops and, I don't think
Well, Swank, I said I wasn't worried about waiting during the Raiders game, and he showed up and scored a touchdown against us. So, I mean,
and then we beat him.
Boom!
Well, no, Joe, I didn't even think about Olsen. You're right.
Yeah,
he caught a nice corner pass in the corner of the end zone last week.
That could be dangerous. I mean, like you said, like he's obviously he's talented. We were in the running. He thought that. See, I would be hanging that quote on everybody's locker this week. He went to Seattle because he thought they were more Super Bowl ready than the Bills.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. He came to Buffalo.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. It's like you could either go somewhere where you're comfortable and the whole coaching staff, or you go somewhere where you thought that you had a better shot at winning a Super Bowl. I think that he's lackluster. I don't think he's performed very well this year. But it could be dangerous because maybe this is the game he decides to show off.
Yeah.
I would say my biggest worry is Jamal Adams. Dude's coming back this week. He's supposed to come back this week. So you're taking a secondary and a defense overall that is underperformed and not that impressive. This could be another Josh Allen get back in the swing of things, 300 to 400 yard passing game. And I kind of think it needs to be. I think they need to get back on track and start bombing these balls out, getting that little like short intermediary stuff, and then lighten it up down the field. It was nice to see John Brown catch that nice little pass this last week, get his feet back wet after being out. But yeah, I mean, dude's dangerous. You know what I mean? We've handled him before when he was a Jet, different circumstance. I don't know exactly how much better the Seattle defense is comparatively to a Greg Williams Jets defense, but
yeah.
He's a good player. So
well, they're the 31st ranked defense right now, Swank. So You're right. I mean, well, I have the game going kind of the opposite way. I don't think they're going to throw the ball, but they need to do. This defense lets up quite a bit of points, and that's why Seattle has only lost one game, but it's a barn burner the whole time because the defense lets up so many points, and they lost to the Cardinals because the Cardinals were able to score. Obviously, whoever had the ball last scored and won the game, and the Cardinals were in that situation. So the defense lets up quite a bit of points. That's why Wilson's been doing so good, because he has to.
Yeah. That was the thing about that Cardinals game, man. I couldn't believe that they allowed Russell Wilson to have the ball to try and win, and that it was like the one time I've ever seen Russell Wilson not do that. Not take the ball and win.
He did throw that touchdown pass to DK Metcalf that got called for a holding penalty, brought back, so that would have been a game winner. But that was an obvious holding penalty. I don't know if you guys saw that. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. DK, man,
Yeah,
with that rundown, that still blows my mind.
Give him props, man.
Oh, my
man.
God, it's so good. So good. He's
Makes
such a
life
big
like that,
dude.
doesn't it?
And being a Bills fan and seeing that struggle for so many years, you get to watch all the other games and have an appreciation for other teams, and a lot of Bills fans that don't that haven't had experience that, I don't know many, but when you see someone play that hard all the time, it reminds you of Don Beebe. You can't help but to cheer for him.
Yeah.
Even if he's not on your team, he may be in a completely different division like he is. Those are the kind of guys you root for. And you hope Metcalf gets shut down this week, but you still kind of root for him because he's that kind of player.
Hey, he can do well next week.
Yeah, not this week. Next week. No, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but the Buffalo Bills, that was one of their biggest targets during the draft was DK Metcalf, and he was kind of a big story, a big, fast guy who can get to A to B quickly. And there was a lot of Bills fans hoping DK Metcalf was on our team, but, he went to Seattle, and, he's worked hard for his career. He worked hard to become an NFL player, and obviously after watching him chase down that guy this past week, he's got the heart, and that's the kind of teammate you want. And, he's doing good things, and you're happy for him. But like you said, Swank, he can struggle this week, and he can do well next week.
Trey White's a better teammate, so I hope Trey White does better than he does this week.
Right.
I mean, that was the big thing with DK, right? Like all of his off-field issues and his attitude, and people didn't think that he was serious about stuff and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't see very many prima donna wide receivers running down a safety like that, and that was so impressive. Like nobody ever catches that. You know what I mean? So, props to him. I hope he gets -3 yards on Sunday.
The 10 catches. Let him catch some balls, but -3 yards overall. That'd be great.
What do you got him on fantasy or something?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I have Russell Wilson on fantasy.
All right. Russell Wilson
Swank,
gets 0.
Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
Do you know his status yet? Because I heard that he was like he might play. Is he questionable?
As far as I know, he is expected to play.
Okay.
Yeah. Jared, right now, as November 3rd, Carlos Hyde, Chris Carson, Shaquille Griffin, Amada the safety, Lapadu the guard, and these names are gonna Myoma the defensive end, and Adams are all questionable as of now.
Okay.
As of now, but that can change. I did see that he's expected to play.
That's a nice concern, Swank, because I knew that he was questionable, but he's a guy that can put his head on people, and he can change a game.
I don't know. So
Stay away.
I think it kind of goes to Joe's point, about John Brown, and I don't think any of us realized how important John Brown was until he left.
He's crucial, man.
So he's gone.
100%.
Yep, he's crucial.
Like he completes that trifecta of those three dudes, and it's it really is, man. It's so crucial because if you got Diggs on the side dragging, and then John Brown over here doing those high mids, whatever, and then Beast crossing, like Beast is gonna be open, half the time, if not one of these, like your A or B read. So I just man, I hope he's back to 100%. I think right now they have a lot of players that are running like half, 3/4,
Yeah.
What about Micah?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Micah.
Well, I know there's a lot of injuries going on, but right now the only questionables on the Bills roster is Norman, Hyde, Butler, and Ford. So
I'm not missing Ford, man. I don't know
That's
about you guys. Like, I mean,
if he comes back, where's he going?
I don't know. Center.
Yeah.
Well, he'll go to the guard. He'll go to the guard position, and Feliciano can take care of the center.
Morse is in concussion protocol, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's had issues with concussions before, hasn't he?
Yep. Kansas City got rid of him easy because of his concussions, and then he already had one this year.
Yeah.
So that might be concerning. Yeah.
He had one the first year that he signed with us. Last year he
Yep.
had one. I think he missed a game or two, or almost did, or something like that. He's good.
Hey, Joe. Yeah. Yeah, I like him. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns about this game coming up against Seattle? I know you mentioned a couple of them already, but is there any one big one that jumps out?
I think it's going to be a close game, and to go back on it, you need good play from special teams, and hopefully our guy can deliver. You know, you look at the Kansas City game where he missed, and you look at by what you lost in that game. That would have been a game changer if it would have changed the whole outlook of the game. So
The halftime miss, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something Sean McDermott's got to tighten up. Is you got rid of Hauschka for this kid. He's gotta deliver.
And he's starting to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just get that feeling in my stomach. Like, come on, baby.
Every time.
And I never had that with Hauschka. You'd get some kicks with Hauschka, like, dude, what was that? And then he nailed stuff he wasn't supposed to hit with a wind in his face, and it's like, that's why we're paying you that money. That's why you wear that C on your chest, because you're setting the example. So I mean, he's new and he's gonna get it. It's getting it while you're trying to win games. So I think if he plays good, I think our offense doesn't struggle, and if I think our defense can hold down on old Russell Wilson, it'll be a good ball game.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be?
Jared, write this down. Write this down and say the vet said Bass was going to be the difference in the game. I would love to see that.
I'll say
I've been
this.
waiting, Joe. I've been waiting for him to make.
Laces out. Same with the punter, because there's been a couple times where
You're right.
they botched the place, and it's like
The
you can't put that on
goddamn
Bass.
punter.
I'm the punter.
Hey, Brian,
Hi, I'm the punter.
over here.
I'll tell you what, man. This is exactly what we expected, though, right? Like, I think people are a little too rough on Bass because, like, he's a rookie kicker. He's trying to figure it out. He's got a big leg. Like, you could almost see, like, he hits those home run kicks, no problem, right? But then you get into that mid range, and it's like he gets in his own head about it. You can feel it.
That's all it is, man.
Right. But like,
I think everybody can feel it.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But with Hauschka, right? Like, I loved Hausch, but like, he went through the same progression that like Dan Carpenter did. When Dan Carpenter came here, I was like, this dude's got a big leg. He's a good dude. I like him. Blah blah. And then he got hit, and he got hit wrong, and he got hurt. And after that, he was never the same.
Oh, that was a big game. What? That was when the old fat boy. Who's that? God, I can't even remember his
Old
name.
fat boy.
Old Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan was a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been against the Pats. It was like right before half. Dan Carpenter went to kick, and he had to kick it again. He got ran into, and he was never the same after that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the same story because Hausch, the same thing happened to him. He got that injury.
Yeah, he got hurt
after
too.
that, and he just never seemed to be the same. So, I don't know. And then I don't know if he's still at Jacksonville. The last I had heard, he was like 0-4, 0 for 4. Like,
Lambeau's back, so I don't think he's there anymore.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a sad ending because he's a good dude. I liked him.
Mhm.
He did a lot for the community. He liked being here. But, yeah, I'm good with it.
Seattle's a good football team. You got to play on all phases. You got to play good if you want to beat them. So, and if you're lacking on one, they're going to get you. Pete Carroll's a smart coach.
Yeah.
He's up there
It's
with
like-
Bill
You can
Belichick.
chew the hell out of some gum,
It's
that's
that
for sure.
bubble gum they choose, yeah.
He's not afraid to have some special plays out there too, as far as fakes and all that either.
Yeah.
Jared, what's your biggest concern about this game?
It's going to be Russell Wilson, how we contain him. And I know Swank wants that Allen to have a good game at 400 yards, but I'm with you, Scott, a little bit. I'm hoping that they continue with this run game that they kind of established against New England Patriots. What ideally, I think, I love when Allen's on, he's great. He moves the ball, he can pass the ball. But when he's not on, you kind of wish for that running game to pick up. So I'm hoping that if they get the game going and the fans see and the coaches see that Allen's not really maybe making the plays they should be, that run game starts to pick up. And like any good quarterback, the best way sometimes to beat them is to keep them off the field. So I'm hoping for an old-fashioned, run game on the Buffalo Bills side, establish the time of possession, and keep Wilson off the field, and then limit his time on the field, which maybe he'll make a mistake or two. Yeah, so Russell Wilson, he's got to be my concern.
I was gonna say, did you
Another-
see my bold prediction and my score on here? Because you're kind of going after what I wanted to say about all that, but
Oh, no, I didn't.
Are you picking
Yeah, you know
against the
what's funny?
Bills, dude?
no.
I think you're picking against the Bills.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I think you should. I saw your guys' records. This is bullshit, is what this is.
Weather in Orchard Park on Sunday is
70?
66 degrees with a 6-mile-an-hour wind.
It's gonna be a nice
Nice.
day.
So
Good
you
day
know,
for
I-
Josh to air it out.
Hopefully John he's firing on all cylinders and can stretch that offense out. You know.
Yeah, that's another thing is our offense has to match. If Russell Wilson is showing his MVP year, and he continues to do what he's doing, our offense has to match. So again, concern is Russell Wilson, and that's my answer.
Well, offenses have been able to match because they have the 31st ranked defense, like I said, and that's why Russell Wilson and Lockett and DK Metcalf and their running game has to be so good because they have to be because their defense gives up so many yards and so many points a game. So hopefully, if the defense shows up, I think we'll be fine.
That's a big question, right?
Yep.
So, who do you start on the line? I think Harry did a good job this week. Right?
I saw his
DL.
number a lot.
Nah.
I saw his number coming off that pile a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Epinesa. He was out this week. Do we know why, or was it just a situational?
Might have
thing?
been a healthy scratch kind of thing. I don't know. Because
Okay.
maybe, I mean, they knew they weren't going to pass, right? So he doesn't seem like a run-stopping kind of guy, you know?
Well, I hope the Bills don't go Kansas City Chiefs style and bring in their defensive line that's fast and quick that can chase down Mahomes because
yeah,
they're
that
going to
didn't
have
work.
to chase down
Yeah.
Wilson. They need to mix them up a little bit.
I really think your idea is the way to go. I really do. I think dedicate a guy to Russell, and if it's a Lee, fine.
Yeah.
And that's great. Do it.
Yeah.
If
His
you-
escapability is crazy, and you
Sure.
need someone that as soon as he gets out of a pocket, because you can't go back. So as soon as he gets out of a pocket, if you have somebody beeline into him, then I think that's going to be the best defensive strategy against Wilson.
No, I think that's super smart. I think that's a
And
really
if
good idea.
and if that linebacker that's chasing him down runs a 4.40, I think you're all set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I don't know.
Jerry
Something that-
Hughes gotta have a big game. I think.
What's that? What's that, Joe?
I think Mr. Jerry Hughes has to have a good game. You know. I think it was 2 games ago. I can't even remember. Every day just slides into each other, but he had a fumble recovery, an interception.
2 games ago.
Crushed it on a game we won by all field goals against the Jets
Yep.
or something.
And he had a sack last week, so you hope this
Yeah.
it continues.
He needs to keep playing good, and I think we got a good fighting chance against anyone. So
Hey, if he's hitting his stride right now, perfect
love it.
Timing.
Yeah,
Yep.
perfect.
And Jared, there's a hey for him because he's now the 5th overall sack leader for the Buffalo Bills.
For
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills fans.
He could
That's right.
actually
all time.
he can pass Cornelius Bennett. Like
Yeah,
he's not that far away from doing that. So
And we remember
Biscuit.
what Cornelius Bennett did for Buffalo. So that's you forget Jerry Hughes' numbers, but
Yeah.
if he's beating Cornelius Bennett here in the next couple weeks, that's impressive.
he's been here a long time, man.
Yeah.
Like and he's produced and he's he's good. Like
And if you're right, if he's hitting
You
his
know
stride
something?
now, then that's awesome.
I'm gonna knock on wood for this too. Is Jerry Hughes' maturity level has changed in the last couple of years because he used to get a lot of personal fouls. If you don't remember, he's at least
he still
get
gets a lot
one
of
every other
offsides.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah,
boneheaded.
he's matured quite a bit.
Well, maybe he's
Guys, I'm gonna throw
repressed
this out there
Gary,
really quick.
man. It was Gary.
Gary,
Yeah.
who's Gary? Thanks, Scott, for filling in.
Is it concerning
So
we're
we
not
have-
getting as many turnovers as it seemed like we were getting last year?
They'll come.
Yeah, you
No.
hope they come.
I'm concerned. Absolutely. I think
I feel like we had a lot more interceptions this time last year.
But guys, think about that. We're 6-2 without him.
Yeah.
I know.
No,
So they'll
the
come.
last two games, we've gotten our turnovers though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not by the guys that you think. Right?
Right.
So like
Zimmer and Marlowe got that fumble.
who is, not to sidetrack all this, who is right now the defensive player of the year for the Bills? What's your name?
Oh my gosh, I didn't had time to think about this.
I'll go right now if you want me to. I
Go.
think it's
Sorry.
hand down easy. Jordan Poyer. Jordan
Okay.
Poyer has been everywhere. Tackling leader.
He
He's
flies.
in every play. He flies. He's playing his ass off. And he doesn't have like the sexy, flashy stats, the picks, all that other stuff. But man, he is everywhere on the field, and he's healthy, and he's playing a hell of a game this year.
Well, he leads the team in tackles.
Yep.
Okay, he's got 2 sacks.
Yep.
He's
How
got
many times
he's got a forced fumble.
how many times did he blitz last week? Quite a bit. He was up playing that third linebacker
And I
quite a
love
bit
that.
last
I
week.
love his shoulders when he's at the line and he's like,
Well, guys,
I love it.
those 53 tackles that he's leading with are only solo tackles. He's got 69 total. So if we double that up, I mean, that puts him at 140 tackles for a safety.
For a safety.
Yeah, man.
So I mean, he's quiet.
And he's he got his extension, right? He got his contract and he is playing to his potential, like 100%.
I like that, Swank.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had a sidekick at 100% either. So he's showing up. Good job, Swank. No.
They
don't
just
think
get healthy, man. It'll be scary.
Yeah.
That defense gets healthy. Woo. Watch out, man. It's just tough with those. That's why that safety's getting a lot of tackles, because your linebackers are all beat up.
You're right. You're 100% right.
I'll tell you what, and I say this all the time, you'd rather have your injuries and finding out what your defense is about early. Because now you can start finding these Zimmers. You can start finding the Epinezas, the guy, you could start finding what other players you need to start performing to when everybody else starts getting healthy, how good they're actually going to be.
Did you see that the locker room speech from the win this last week?
By McDermott?
Yeah.
I saw it, but
Well, so at one point they McDermott said where's Zimmer, and as soon as they turned to him, the whole defensive line, the whole locker room's just Zim, and they had him do a speech, and it was just I'm paraphrasing, but he was just stay humble, stay hungry. It was just I'm not much for speeches. I just did my part. That was it, and I was just this dude is the Duke Williams of this year,
Kyle Williams, yeah. Or no, Duke Williams.
Duke Williams. I'm saying he's that guy that the undercard underdog guy that everybody wants to get behind, and he's producing. The 2 games that he's been in, he's made big plays, and without him, that game either would have went into overtime and would have been
different.
Yeah, it could have been a loss, or they would have scored a touchdown. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Swank. I'm recalling it that, you can tell this kid fought for everything that he's ever gotten.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he was this quiet kid that made a play when he needed to, and he's been, people have been giving him praise because of his 110% effort on the field, chasing down plays and stuff like that. When you do stuff like that, kids, remember, if you keep going, even though until the whistle blows, you'll make plays like this. He's hustling and bustling. He made that play, and when he had his chance to say something in front of everybody, he's I'm just here to love football. Let's just keep going. And when other players see that, especially name players, it might bring them down to a level where they're man, this kid has worked his ass off to get where he is, and he's the one that made the play today.
Absolutely.
You know what? I'm so-and-so. I'll make the damn play next week.
some of those no-name players humble other players, and that's what you hope to see throughout the season. And you bring up the level of your game when that happens.
Yeah, I love it. I love seeing the kid. We saw him early in the season. I remember against the Jets. I think he had a sack, didn't he? Or was it against the Jets?
Yeah,
Opening memory. We're who's this 61 fella?
Yeah.
No, wait. It wasn't a sack. He blew up a running back in the backfield against the Jets. It was a run play, and he exploded this kid. And you're who? 61? What is going on? And then you're glad to have those players on your team.
Zimmer. Come on.
Zimmer.
All right, we better do picks here, man.
So, guys. Yeah, are we getting late?
Yeah.
We're at 10:30 already. All right.
10:30.
Do I have to remind everybody about what the records are?
Oh yeah, man. Let me just put that up there real fast.
I'm undefeated.
All right.
You are undefeated. Joe is leading.
You are. Joe, since you're undefeated, I'm going to have you go first. I want a score prediction and a bold prediction for this Bills versus Seahawks football game.
Well, what do you mean by bold prediction?
Well,
Throw-
when we do
throw out
bold
a stat
predictions,
or
you can
something.
either play a stat like Allen throws for 550 yards or
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I got you.
something like that. We've learned not to go too crazy in this league.
Listen, I'm going 24-21 Buffalo over Seattle because we've got the real 12th man, and Bass is going to kick the game-winning field goal.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, because
You alluded to that earlier. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
No segue.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Swank.
Me?
Yeah, you're up.
All right. I'm going to say 31-35 Bills in a nail-biter with a shootout, you know? It's just going to be Russ and Josh out there just grinding it up. And my bold prediction is going to be that Stephon Diggs, 170 plus.
170. Golly. Come on, Diggs.
Because he has to.
Yeah, if it's going to be a
He's
shootout
been
between
quiet.
Allen Wilson, Diggs is
He's
going to
been
have to make his mark.
Yeah, but Diggs been getting you your production, though. I think he's like number 2 in the league or something. He's getting it. He just
Number
needs
one, the
to put
AFC
down
East.
passes.
Yeah, I think he's number 2 or number 3 in the league right now. Yeah.
He's
And he-
getting production.
Still even last
I
week
like
with
it.
the wind, man. 92 yards, I think, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Healthy JB happens all day.
Yep. Healthy JB is key.
Yeah.
Jared
All right.
Allen.
Come on, Dynasty. Let's go. With your fluff out red beard.
28-24. Obviously, the Bills. My bold prediction isn't like a number stat for any player. I think the Buffalo Bills run the ball more than they pass the ball this week.
They ran 67% this past week.
And I think that's because time of possession is key. Keeping the ball out of Wilson's hand is key. And I think if you establish the lead quick, you run the ball. 14 carries for each one of our running backs, 80-plus yards, and Feliciano back. I think that's a good possibility.
I
And I
want
think
that, and I want the 300-plus yards. Pass.
Jesus.
I want it
I want it
all.
all. I want it all.
I want it all.
But-
So
but-
here's my thing. Like I like that strategy. I like keeping Russ off the field, but that feels like a play not to lose kind of move. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that team. I want to be that team that's like, this is the way we play.
Yes.
And
Oh, Swank, this is a play to keep the lead kind of game, not to lose kind of game.
yeah,
You want to play like that, you'll be Atlanta in the Super Bowl losing to the Pats, buddy.
call it at halftime and
Yeah.
Man, they were running the ball like crazy. Atlanta was, but they just stopped doing it. Nope, 28-24 Bills, and they run the ball more than they pass the ball. I like it.
I like that.
I like it.
I do too, but the more I think about it, Swank, I'm kind of leaning towards your direction there. The fact that it's going to be a nice day.
Mhm.
You know, you want the run game to be established when it's kind of a miserable day, right? You
Oh
want to
yeah,
keep
dude.
the-
This is gonna be a nice day. Air it out, picnic lunch.
Yeah, it's
you
gonna
know,
be
take
nice
your
and
lady
sunny.
out, propose to her,
Yeah.
have a nice afternoon. It's gonna be great.
Damn.
What's that? So my prediction's
Do you
going
have
to
a
be
ska band in your house right now, Scott Dynasty?
You'll see that in the video later. The bug just went by and then landed right in my beard.
it's home. It's time for bed, it says.
I brought some friends.
37-35. And I like to stick with the. I was going to say for the rush game, if they establish that rush game, that I want over 250 yards. But again, like I said, I'm going towards Swank a little bit. Let's predict that our Buffalo Bills defense finally scores their first touchdown of the year.
It needs to happen. Come on, special
Yeah.
teams or
Yes,
defense.
Can
Do
I
it.
can I add special teams to that? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, defense
Let's
is
do-
special teams is automatically
You
involved.
going
in special-
fantasy
You're going
rules?
fantasy football rules here. Special teams or defense scores their first touchdown of the year. And, man, what a confidence booster that would be for that Buffalo Bills defense.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I have it 37-35. And if you want to tag along with what Joe said, maybe it's Bass putting that 37 on to win the game.
That's right, buddy.
Damn. You're going with the The Reed family. Is it the Reed side that you're related to, Joe?
No, it's the Brown Snyder.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We share the same grandmother on our mother's
Gotcha.
side.
Mom's side.
There you go.
Maternal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you got it.
As long as that field
Hi,
goal
Grandma.
is within 39 yards, we should be good. You know?
Yeah. If it's 67 yards, you'll be fine.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
he'll
take it.
crush it, man.
I'll take it. All right, so what we also do quick, Joe, is we throw in our AFC games, and then we pick an NFL game. So we're going to do the AFC game really quick. The Dolphins are traveling to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Joe, who do you have winning that game?
Cardinals. They gotta beat them. I'd like a little more breathing room.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Swank,
I'm going to double up on that and say the same thing. Cardinals.
Scott,
I'm already 2 games up on you guys. I'm going to go up one more game. I'm going Miami.
God damn.
Hey, man. So
I think Luke's gonna get crushed, man.
I have this really
He threw for,
great.
97 yards. He can't keep up with that guy.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, Mr. Dynasty, I just have a little something for you. It's right under. Oh, no, it's right here.
all right. I agree with you guys with the Cardinals. I have the Cardinals going too. All
Am
right.
I the lone wolf?
Right. All right. Cardinals
Pull ahead
are
week.
the Patriots are heading to New York or New Jersey. Excuse
Oh,
me, to play the
Jesus.
Jets.
This was going to be my
Guys.
toilet bowl pick.
Joe, we'll have you lead the way now on this one. Patriots versus Jets.
When was the last time Bill Belichick lost 4 in a row? I mean,
2020.
or 5? 5? I can't. It's just astonishing. I don't think he could lose another one. I don't know.
5, dude? Oh, I would love it, though. How is
Yeah,
this
that'd be
game on Monday night and it hasn't been flexed out?
I don't know.
Can we talk about that?
They're not going to move
Yeah.
the Patriots.
Mr. Kraft. I mean,
Everybody.
he was getting massages down in Florida, and they just dropped the charges.
Oh, jeez. I forgot about that.
All right.
Silence. No one says anything. All right, who's up next with the Patriots Jets? Let's swing. What do you got?
I'm going to go homer pick and say Jets get their first win. Why not?
I'm hoping Adam Gase gets fired.
Yeah,
That's-
absolutely.
I mean,
It's in New Jersey. I mean,
Yeah.
Jared, you could put me down for the Jets, too.
oh, come on.
I got the Jets.
Come on, man.
See how he's doing? He's jumping on you.
I know
I'll
what
have
he's
him go
doing.
first next time. And I got the Jets going as well.
There you go.
Jesus
All right.
Christ. Can I switch mine?
It's my time. You can if you want.
No, I'm good.
All right, Joe. Besides the AFC East, we have either an upset, a toilet bowl game throughout the NFL. Do you have any other games that you think you want to make a prediction on that I could put down to see if you're right or not, and I'll let everybody know next week?
What you got? List off some games.
I
Who are
got-
the Browns
I got you right here if you want here. We got
That's right.
Thursday, we got Packers at 49ers. And then starting Sunday, we got Ravens at Colts, Giants at Washington, Bears at Titans.
I'm gonna go with the Colts, and Nine Himes are gonna upset the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, I see what you're doing here.
I'd like to see that.
Homer.
Homer.
Jared Nineheim's graduated high school just down the road from where he lives.
Oh, that's cool.
Well,
Doesn't EJ Manuel's uncle live next to you too?
He moved. He
Oh,
moved.
did he? That son of
Yep.
a gun.
Yep. I got to meet him at a little backstory. They do so I live down in North Carolina, and they barbecue like crazy down here. And they had a rib off, so everybody in the neighborhood brings all the ribs together. And we were talking about football, and that's when I met EJ Manuel's uncle. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think that was a year they benched him. I think that's when they brought Tyrod Taylor, and I'm like, man, they need to give EJ a chance. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I liked him.
Wow.
hyping him up a little bit.
I was at that the training camp where Tyrod beat EJ, and I saw EJ throw one into the stands. And
I think it was just because of the draft pick, like, man, we went out and we spent for him, And now I
want
think
him to be something for sure. Yeah.
exactly. Now he's I think he's like an analyst for the ACC network. I always see
Yeah, he is.
the ACC network down here. So
Yeah, for Babe Ruth baseball, I think he's an analyst for him. It's good.
Oh God, Swank.
man,
They can throw a ball farther than he can.
All right, Swank. Before I get you, I want Scott to go because we have to do 2 to catch up with your
All right.
with you. So Scott, you have 2
I
games
gotta
for
take
me?
a leak then. You guys pick this out.
All right, go. I know it's like shaking a little bit.
I got 2 games. I also was going with Hines and the Colts beating the Titans, right? That's what they're
Ravens.
playing? Ravens.
the Ravens.
And then the pick I also have is I'm a fan of Justin Herbert. I like his story. I think he's going to get his first divisional rival win. Chargers beat the Raiders.
Funny thing about the Ravens, you really see Lamar Jackson struggling throwing. So that's maybe something that's going to be shown a little bit more when they start playing. I mean, they got to play the Steelers again,
Yeah.
You get a good defense playing that guy.
Yeah, I listen to WGR 550 every morning on the way into work. That's the second time I mentioned them in 2 weeks. But the Ravens are a contender in the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. They're one of those good teams, but they say their pass game is struggling big time. And last year, I remember we all talk about how we think the Bills set the tempo or set the game plan to how to beat that Ravens team. So,
Yep.
Scott, you're wiggling like you have to pee too.
Just pee your pants.
That's what the cool kids do, right?
I've already peed my pants twice.
Hold on. Guess what I'm doing. All right.
What do you got, Jay?
I also have the Colts beating the Ravens, but
Hey.
my other game's going to be the Bears are beating the Titans. So the Titans are going to drop 2 in a row. Swank, you show up. Scott leaves. He's going P2.
Good.
Be 3 in a row, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, Titans will lose their 3rd game in a row against the Bears.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What did I miss?
So Scott picked the Colts over the Ravens as well,
Okay.
and so did I. And then Scott picked the Chargers beating the Raiders, and then I got the Bears beating the Titans. The Bears.
Up there.
So that's fine. Scott started wiggling around too, like you, Swank. I called him out. He had to go pee.
Good call. That's that that ESP twin thing, right? Where you guys,
ESP.
you're
Yeah.
like,
I was like, why do I
Yeah,
feel?
sure.
you're like, I haven't drank anything in 2 days, but I feel like I have to pee. Scott,
Why?
do you have to pee?
Scott. Beep beep beep. Scott, you have to pee.
So you want to know about my toilet bowl pick here, or what?
Yeah, go ahead, Swank. What you got?
Oh, buddy. I have the Houston Texans at 1-6 at the Jacksonville Jaguars, which are also 1-6, for the ultimate toilet bowl showdown of week 9. Is that what this is? No? Is it week 9?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, even though Houston's favored, Jacksonville, man. Because Minshew's, his stash is way too good not to lose. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I have lost so many of these. Like, my toilet bowl picks, if you're a betting person and you're watching this, whatever I pick, just pick the opposite, and you'll probably win money because I am 1-8 picking the worst horrible games every single week.
Aren't both those teams on a bye this week?
I mean, they might as well be.
Pretty sure they are.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys.
Swank.
Oh,
Swank.
Yeah, buddy.
Doug Marone said that Minshew will not be playing this Sunday against the Texans.
Yeah, I saw that.
Then I will say it doesn't matter because the power of his mustache will prevail from the sidelines. Who they have
Very
backing him
good.
up? Is
No
Hausch
idea.
is Hausch going to back him up? He should play quarterback, dude.
No idea.
That jugs machine the Dallas Cowboys are using for the game this week, I think the Jaguars are also going to use for the next game coming up. Hey guys, man, like I said at the beginning of the show, 6-2, 4-0. We get to watch another football game on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Does anybody have any closing thoughts for today? Scott.
Just, I hate to call out Bills fans all the time because I am one, but I'm a positive one. There's a lot more positive out there than there is negative. But let's, again, it's the same, we're preaching the same thing every week. Take a win for win as it is. With the amount of upsets that happened this week, we have not yet succumbed to the upset or the trap game yet. And I don't want to jinx this at all, but we haven't lost to a team that we shouldn't lose against yet. And we should enjoy the wins because it was a Belichick team that we played against. And it doesn't matter who you are. Belichick's a tough guy to play against. So the negativity is going to be out there. Take the higher road, fans. Instead of getting in arguments with these guys, that's what they want. A lot of them, in my opinion, don't really know what they're talking about. And when you see the 3.5K on our group and there's only 3 of them being called out, I guess that's not a bad thing. So keep the positivity. Try to turn those conversations around and see what these guys think that they would do better. And sometimes that'll either shut them up or they'll just argue back because they have senseless minds when it comes to the NFL and Buffalo Bills football. Every week I'm going to get more and more aggressive towards these negative fans, and I'll be that guy. You know? But I also want to give a shout out to
you wore the bandana?
Hey,
Just working out in this Rocky montage to mess
just-
up all these idiots.
it's
Do you,
time,
do
man.
you use
It's
like
time.
motor oil in it? Like, what do you use? Do you ride a buffalo? Guy on the buffalo?
When I'm done oiling up my gun, I go ahead and throw it in his beard here. And
Here, put a little CLP on her.
When I get upset, I just go and hunt ducks and do a couple of duck calls out at the pond and see what happens. And then these boys, they want to just keep running their mouths and running their mouths.
I didn't know Brother Weezer was gonna be on the show.
there he is.
Oh, no. It's not airy enough. It's
So I'll have a challenge for the fans this week: win, lose, or draw. Turn a negative into positive, because there's a lot of fans out there that are just going to mention the negative, and they're couch coaches and they think they know what they're talking about. But the more you listen to them, the more you realize that they really don't. Go Bills!
Go
6-2.
Hell yeah.
And
Swanky.
and
Yeah.
an hoorah, a special thank you. We have a lot of military in our family, and we appreciate every last one of them. I know the NFL does a 1 month thing for them in November, but we're on your side. We have your backs 12 months out of the year. We love you. We thank you, and enjoy your freedom because of you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, go down to Joe first, man. Go down to Joe.
Yeah, Joe, any closing thoughts?
Oh man, I'm just
Joe's
glad.
just gonna go.
excited.
Hoorah!
Yeah, glad, excited. Y'all stunned me when I think it was Jared messaged me and said, "Hey," and I'm like, oh, man, yeah. No, I'm very honored. You know, I'm thankful. But hopefully we can have our defense get some good third down stops. You know, we've had some high numbers for that, and just be grateful that the NFL's given us something to watch, because it could have went another way where we'd be sitting in the house on a Sunday, you know, I guess I'll mow the lawn at 1 o'clock, you know, instead of putting off your chores all day because you're hyped for the game, you know. But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
No
problem. Thank you. Swank.
Go Bill. No. So I think to piggyback a little bit on what Scott said, like, you gotta enjoy it. You gotta enjoy this moment right now, right? We're sitting in a really great spot. Like, if all you have to do is take a piss on anybody else's good feeling right now, like, we get 16 of these a year, right? Like 16 times to watch our team. This last Sunday, I text you guys, right? I lost power right before halftime. I was sitting in my car listening to it on the radio. Like, my wife is an amazing sport, and she has got the curse to be a Bills fan along with me. And, you know, as soon as halftime hit, we got our shit and we booked it to our buddy's house who had power, and we watched the second half of the game. There's just, like, nothing better than those Sundays, right? And you only get 16 of them a year. So why are you going to spend this time where we're winning, complaining, and like dogging other people and just being miserable? Like, we didn't win this way. Shut up. You know, like Sean McDermott in the locker room is saying every single win, every single week, if you win, it doesn't matter. Nobody's ever going to remember that Patriots game. Nobody. It's just going to be that the Bills won. It's not going to be anything other than that, right? So, who
2 years from
cares?
now, what was our record 2 years ago? It was this, and this. Well, yeah, how'd they do against the Patriots? How'd they do against this team? That they don't look at that stuff.
Nothing. That was their record. That's all it is. As soon as this year's over, that's what they look at. You know what I mean? So, I would say sit back and enjoy it, man. And I think if out of these next 2 games, if we can win one of them, I'll be super happy. If we win both, I'll be ecstatic. You know, I think this week you can make a statement, you know, just like we could against the Titans, Kansas City. One of these games, they're going to do it because they're better than middle of the pack. You know what I mean? They are in that top tier. And I think, you know, this is another week to prove that. So, aside from that, I'm going to say, you know, if you want to join us every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can do that here on Facebook Live at 24/7 Buff Fandemonium. Also, if you can't be here for the show, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and anywhere else that you listen to podcasts. And, you know, from me and Jared and Cousin Joe and Scott Dynasty, you know, we appreciate you.
We do very much.
We appreciate you. So, thank you. Thank you very much.
It's real nice.
All right, I'm going to piggyback on both you guys, Scott and Swank. Just stay positive. Ignore those people trying to get you to get angry, because I found myself paying more attention to what people had to say rather than watching the games at time, and I'm done with it. So stay away from the negativity. If you have negative comments, we might not even accept them anymore to the group. So there you go. Also, guys, I want to thank Joe for joining us. Salute to Service Month. Thanks, Joe.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you. Hoorah. Hey, guys, we'll see you next week, 9:30 on Tuesday. Hopefully talking about our 7-2 start. And
Not
as
to the
always,
Cardinals.
as always, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Bills.
Hey.